Well, I have found a man who knows all about some of the most gorgeous looking cars that you'll see here. The ones that me and you were talking about a little bit earlier on, Rolling Bones. And Dennis Varni is the owner of the car that is behind me. Dennis, talk to me just about how these cars came about and how come you own this one.
Well, the fellas that started this thing, the Rolling Bones, Ken Schmidt and Keith, were two guys who are hobbyists, and Ken was an artist, a oil painting artist, and loved hot rods and decided to stop doing paintings and went in to start building cars. And I ran into their cars when I was racing at the Salt Flats. They used to come out and they were just beautiful cars. They sat so right and they just looked the period. They had soul. You just felt like you wanted to go up and pet the cat, you know, kind of thing. And so I met him one day and I said, you know, I'm going to build a car like yours someday. And he says, well, we'd like to go into business. And so I said, okay. And they started building me a car, and we've had a 23-year relationship. And Ken now has passed away, and but the show is still going on. And all these guys drive all the way out from New York to the Salt Flats every year. And we just came there. I drove from the Salt Flats to here, and we just enjoy these cars. They're a lot of fun. You can lay on them, you can touch them, you know, and they're all different. Every one is different. They're all pieces of art. They're not cars, hot rods, you know.
What I love about this is you're taking the history of the hot rods, the post-war era where guys were just cobbling together bits and pieces of cars that they were getting from the junkyard, from the scrapyard, and putting together these incredible looking machines. And effectively, you're now doing the same thing, but with a modern spin on it, you know, breathing new life into old parts.
Yeah, it's a recreation of what happened after World War II. The fellas came back from the service. I'm 80 years old, 80 and a half, and most of them are all, you know, up in our age, but we love driving them. You own one of these cars, you're 18 years old. You see a girl going down the street, you rev your motor and you get excited, you know, and she gets excited.
Speaking of revving your motor, we're going to try and do this. We've only got one camera and we're going to test the technology here, but I think, Dennis, if you hop in around that side, let's start it up, let's see if we can hear it, yeah? Come on, let's do that. So I'm going to come around this side and hopefully we'll won't lose signal on the mic and everything else when we fire up, but let's see what we can do, because if you can hear this. So I tell you what, Dennis, just point us through some of the dials and bits and pieces that we got up here, because it's a beautiful looking thing inside.
These are all off different kinds of cars in the 40s or late 40s. The switches are off airplanes with the little ivory ends on them, and the steering wheel's a Lincoln. Now, you know, in race cars, you always have a little string to know where heads up is. So I got some with a little blue string with a little red trim on it, just to give it a little look, you know. The seats are from a reproduction of an airplane seat, but the seat covers two of the reindeers of Santa Claus gave up their occupation and came with me, Splitzer and Donner. So you're sitting on Donner, I'm sitting on Splitzer.
Listen, I tell you what, shut the door. Let's do a quick little circle in it, because it sounds great, but we got to see this thing running, haven't we? So, Johnny, I'm just going to do a quick little lap here with Dennis before we come back to you, just around the... listen to this. This is amazing.